not bad. Can you imagine that?
Where right now our politicians' incentives lie on placating the most extreme 20% of voters in each of their districts, because that's the way our system is designed. So what we have to do is change that. We need open primaries and ranked choice voting so that leaders have to appeal to 51% of voters instead of the 20% on both extremes. And then you'd see their behavior improve overnight. So that's what the Forward Party is about.
Okay, see, that's something. Open primaries and ranked choice voting are certainly solid ideas that deserve discussion. And of course, those concepts and variations of them are already implemented in many places. There's a debate to be had when it comes to these ideas, arguments for and arguments against them, nuance and junk. But again, it's at least something tangible they stand for. Potentially good. How would we go about doing it? Give me those deets.
What is your step one besides a book, an interview, and pushing and a movement and tweets and keep talking about it? But what is a concrete step that's going to take place to get us on that path?
You got it. And that's actually what I'm most excited about.
Okay.
Is that one state already passed open primaries and ranked choice voting, which has opened up the system. So again, that leaders have to appeal to a majority of citizens instead of just 10 to 20%. There are 24 other states in our country that allow ballot initiatives where if enough of us get together and say we're fed up, enough is enough, we can actually flip a switch and change the system.
Oh, so we just have to get together and flip a switch. I'm sorry, not to be a silly goat, but that kind of sounds vague and also like something that's already kind of happening. Again, stuff like open primaries are actually pretty complicated and could be implemented in good or bad ways. So it would be nice to get a little more deets here before I say that's definitely a good or bad thing. But I'm sure things will start to come into focus once we hear the Forward Party's other positions. Which are?
Yeah, but Andrew, you're going to have policy positions at some point. How does the Forward Party feel about Roe versus Wade? Should it have been overturned?
Well, I personally think that women's reproductive rights are fundamental human rights. But the Forward Party has not left or right, but forward stance on even the most divisive and contentious issues.
Well, what does that mean? Don't you have to take a position on something? Don't you have to take a position on something? You can't just say, well, this is a hot button issue, so I'm not going to take a position on it. If you want to run the country, you're going to have to make some hard decisions, Andrew.
Again, the Forward Party is about that common sense consensus majority view, which is very clear on abortion. It's clear.
What about guns? What about assault weapons?
On climate change. It's actually clear on just about every issue under the sun.
Wow. Alrighty. So the Forward Party's policy positions are whatever the common sense consensus majority view is, but they won't specify what those things are or openly advocate for them. So it's a little sketchy. Like, what if the common sense majority were to suddenly be in favor of something immoral and atrocious? Would they still support it? Would they say, hold on there, majority, that's not common sense? It feels like I need to keep digging here.
They're not left or right, but forward, the opposite of backward. Wombo kind of likes it.
Yeah, you would kind of like it, wouldn't you?
Fine, great, vote for the forlorn part or whatever. Just hurry up. I only got 20 minutes to get to Panera Bread before my lunch break is over.
Hey, voice person, could you maybe not vote here? This is my home.
Whoa, you hear that? This guy doesn't want us to vote. What the hell? Ain't you an advocate for fair and equitable access to polling places?
Yeah! What's the deal with this guy? I don't even know this guy.
Democracy hater. Nazi.
Yeah! Eat his flesh!
Okay, wow. You 3 people can vote here, but nobody else.
Wombo is no person! Wombo is a symphony of anguish!
Hanging up. I think I might have actually recognized the guy from those clips we showed earlier. I feel like he might have failed at politicking. What's his darn name again?
I listened a lot to hip hop during the 90s and 2000s because
what Andrew? I gotta know.
Well, it was Jay-Z and a little bit of Nas. And
what's your favorite Jay-Z song? He's a New Yorker.
Yes.
What is my favorite Jay-Z song?
Ah, right. Andrew Yang. I remember him. He's a businessman or something, right? He's the guy who ran for the Democratic nomination for president with a platform of universal basic income and being afraid of automation, and then dropped out of the race after earning 0 delegates. Just like our current vice president. I remember him now. Fun times. Fun times. If you recall, which you don't, he also ran for mayor of New York City in 2021, dropping out after a few months when his polling numbers plummeted largely because of things like this.
One thing that I think would be extraordinarily helpful is to have specific shelters for victims of domestic violence who are often fleeing from an abusive partner, and it's a distinct population with distinct needs, and they should have a separate facility or place that's able to serve those.
There are already a number of domestic violence shelters. People talk about capacity issues with domestic violence shelters, but they do already exist.
Oh no, they of course they do exist.
Fun times. Yeah, it seems like he was perhaps a little bit out of his depth. Along with this moment, Yang also suggested that New York should institutionalize all the mentally ill people and crack down on unlicensed street vendors. He also didn't really endear himself to the people of New York City by saying that Times Square was his favorite subway station and appearing to not know what a bodega is. I think it's a kind of cat. Anyway, then, only about 2 months after dropping out of the mayoral race, Yang said he had changed his voter registration from Democrat to Independent and was launching a new political party called the Forward Party. The key principles behind this party, as announced in his book Forward, are ranked choice voting and open primaries, fact-based governance, human-centered capitalism, effective and modern-day government, universal basic income, and grace and tolerance. So, in case you missed all of that, that's 2 clear policy positions, ranked choice voting / open primaries, and universal basic income. And 4 vague, made-up things that can mean literally whatever, and in some cases seem like active contradictions. And we'll get back to that list in a little bit, which involves why this political party appears to have launched twice. But first, we're going to look at who this guy is in general, where he came from, and why exactly he might be starting a political party in the first place. It's time to ask, who is Andrew Yang? Don't forget political loser. Sorry, Andrew, that was too harsh. Was it? I'm sorry. Am I? Who cares? Anywho, if you're running for president and mayor and starting political parties, somehow in that order, you better have a good story. Like Bran the Broken! What a great show. Perfect ending to a series that was and always will be about the power of stories. So Andrew Yang was born in New York State in 1975, just like the band Blondie. In the early 1990s, Yang attended the highly selective Phillips Exeter Academy, not like the band Blondie. And he says he was part of the U.S. national debate team in 1992 that went to the World Championships in London. Now, the coach of that team said he'd never heard of Yang, and he definitely doesn't appear anywhere in the program of that event. And it's possible he may have meant a separate speech and debate tournament that took place 50 miles outside of London that year, which would definitely not have put him on the U.S. national debate team. But look, you know, we got a lot of stuff to get to. So let's just say, I don't know, maybe he was mistaken about attending a World Debate Championship in London in 1992. Who among us, you know? Also, not for nothing, but personally, I don't think it's a great selling point that a politician was allegedly trained and successful in the art of convincing people of things, even if they're not true. Anyway, then he went to Brown University and Columbia Law School, and to his credit, worked only 5 months as a corporate lawyer before quitting, calling the experience purposeless and empty. Right on, Andrew. Right on, Drew. His coworker, Jonathan Phillips, came up with an idea for a startup that would connect celebrities and their fans with charitable causes while minimizing overhead, and he and Yang started Star Giving together. That company failed after the bursting of the early aughts tech